Silicon and broadcast into your life at Dimension of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today is Thursday. Today that press briefing will be addressed by Councillor Finley Kangar, head of Liberia's Ombudsman office. Councillor Finley will provide updates on the recent report conducted by the office of the Ombudsman regarding political participation, ethical conduct and discrimination in public service.
The head of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, the Officer of Full Press and Development.
So that was the voice of the Director for Press and Public Affairs. This is Honorable Daniel Odessa, the Minister for Press and Public Affairs at MICAT.
Can you say good afternoon to all of you who are somewhere here, the historic child name Paul. Indeed, we are back following the period of supplication that was declared by the head of state, President, asking citizens to pray for peace and stability of our country. So we will be here really stakeholders to ensure that the press conference will be successful. It's something that we take very seriously. We are doing information because the nation looks up to the digital regular president and get information about what the government is doing, what the government intends to do, and how the government goes about doing what it's supposed to do for the people of Liberia. So we are happy to be back here today. Like all press conferences, we will see the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. He will speak to specific issues. I have been authorized to speak to other issues as well. It was a very important statement or article written by somebody very influential in the international cycle. The minister will be throwing light on that. After he's done, I will clear the house on other issues, and then the distinguished gentleman you see seated on the platform is the head of the Office of the Ombudsman, Councillor Finley Kangar. He's here to address the press and inform the Liberian people on some of the activities and updates surrounding the workings of the Office of the Ombudsman. So that's a routine. Before I call on the minister to the platform, I will always want to remind you to put your gadget on silence and continue to get disturbances from the press conference ongoing. We do not intend to call anybody out, though we respect all of you equally. But one thing we will not want to tolerate here is disturbances. And so with that being said, let me now invite to the podium the distinguished Minister of Information today.
But I talked to delegate a piece of article written by the resident coordinator of the United Nations system in Liberia, Christine Omutuni, on our platform before the rest of the conversations can take place. We also share that read out with members of the press so that it makes the news as well, because we can't spend all of our energies looking for negative. Most society prospers that way. She comes from a country of a war history like this, Rwanda. The atrocities were even deeper sure as journalists you know the story of how he about 90 days, over 500,000 persons were slaughtered. It's a great story about genocide. And now there's a positive side of it. That country is making serious progress, is making strides. She's from there, she's here, she's seeing through the different lenses. She's written something that, like I say, I want to elevate here. We like the governance environment we have, if you look back, an auditor will come and audit the government entity. The draft audit report is available. And some of the people who may have been from couple will have some insight about the audit report. And we will make some efforts to divert it. And if those efforts can work, then people are forced out of this effort. That's why we have a story about auditors being killed, many of whom are our friends. Matthew Innes, Gifty, Peters, our friend Bateniswa. A long list of people whose deaths were suspicious, they remain suspicious today. In the current era, it doesn't matter, you do your work. If you look up here, the guest we have here today is the head of the office of the Ombudsman. He issued the documentation the other day. Perhaps we talk about AMO, but in that documentation, he didn't come down strong on the Minister of Foreign Affairs. No, my own Deputy Minister, Daniel Sabo. No threat, nobody knocking, nobody forcing me. We bring here, you see now the same platform with Daniel Sabo. That's what governance should be. Because there's nothing questionable. He has a piece of job to do and he's doing his job. Give him his space to do what he's supposed to do when the country gets together. The President said in his wisdom, to take a day off to pray. Some of us will wake up in the morning, the tea we drink is negativity. In the afternoon we drink negativity. In the night we drink negativity. So even things that are associated with God, we look for a way to make it negative. You were busy posting pictures. The worship center was empty. How is that an issue that's supposed to concern you? If you go pray to God, you pray God, you're running around to show that, oh, every Baptist church empty, the other place empty. Some newspaper publishers, they know those stories are right anymore. Prayer can fix the economy. You vex or pray. So nobody will pray because prayer can fix the economy, right? And the only thing the nation is supposed to pray about is for the economy to be fixed. The proclamation that called us to pray say that in the first place. The publications of the proclamation say we went pray so that the rose can appear in the creation time. We went pray so the light can be all over the place, so the economy can be found. And you run a newspaper, the only thing that you got to take out of the whole prayer business is prayer can fix the economy. Joking with God. If you are a believer, maybe you're not following the word of God. I'm not a pastor, I'm a son of a pastor. I'd like to remind some of us that the Bible is clear. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever thing of men soever he shall surely reap. So if making fun of God, making fun of prayer is your calling, keep it up. One thing I know, I was my heart this morning and where I'm strong. I'm here. But I don't know how to deal with him. There are people who leave their homes very healthy, get in their cars. Before the end of the day, you hear the person is there. What happened? Well, he was in an accident. None of us is aware of what is before us from here. We don't wake up in the morning without breath. And maybe for those who can pray, you wake up and say, thank God. But you don't know what is before you the rest of the day. The only man who knows what is ahead of each of us as we stand here now is God. And when the head of the country says, let's gather to pray to him, rather than public just encouraging people to take solace in that proclamation, looking for reasons to be negative. Questioning why would you go for prayer, the first week of prayer can face the economy. That mentality is nasty. And it's in the wrong direction, because when you take that mentality of negativity that has carried around everything to God business, you're treading on dangerous ground, because the very breath you are giving in and out, he controls it. It's like a flood. You who do it, you don't have control over it. He does. He can choose at any time to unplug it. You don't have the power to resist. There's a story in the Bible of this rich man who has harvested. He was knocking his church that he has now. His vineyard is full of goods, of food, everything, drinks. And he can only say unto himself, eat, drink, and enjoy yourself. And the Bible goes on to say, the Lord said, you fool, this very night, that breath you breathing will be taken away from you. The Bible concludes that he died. I'm just making these points so that we are all cautioned to continue the politics that we love. Let's do it. For those who love the negativity, that continue to do it. But when a nation is called to attention on the things of God, suspend your negativity for a while. Because what you do with issues that concern God will determine your fate for the period moving forward. And so we thank all of those who took it serious. We thank the prayer people who gather in their different places to pray for the nation. Thank the folks we saw around the roundabout at ELWA singing songs of glory to God, giving praises, praying for our nation. Thank the imams, all members of the clerical generation who assembled in different places of worship to pray for our country. We believe God heard you. And our nation will be protected. Our nation will be kept safe. And we'll continue to do the human things that others say the prayer is supposed to end. We have people in charge of the economy. We have an economic management team. We have ministers and governors who are charged with the responsibility of working our economy. They will continue to do that as they work. We're not saying we're suspending their responsibility for prayer to solve the problem. Minister of Public Works, they're supposed to be building roads. They're doing a very great job. Everybody admits that Public Works is one of the most performing entities. They will continue to build the roads. Their work is not being substituted with prayer. That's not what we're saying. Our medical institutions are supposed to work. That's why we have folks deployed in our sector to keep doing the work. We're not substituting them with prayer to say we're going to pray so the hospital can be magical overnight. We're not praying for our schools to be what it's supposed to be. We're praying for God to pay attention to our nation, to keep watch over us. You know, after all said and done, we have a nasty history of violence. The sitting president seated in his residence at the executive mansion. No president sleeps there anymore. So those of you who were not born at that time, it's on the 6th floor of the executive mansion, which is the residence of the president. And there, William Tall was brought from his room and slaughtered. 1980. Who attempted in 1985 led to raids and massive death, then the war, 250,000. So we have reasons to call for prayers. If you are a journalist, a political actor, or whoever you are, who don't see it that way, rather than keep quiet, you try to verify the effort of a nation to pray, beware. So let me read the publication from Christine Tony, and then Daniel Sando will continue with the rest of the talking points before we call the esteemed gentleman in Cllr Finley Kangar. He said, when I arrived in Liberia in February of 2023, the country was preparing for the general elections. These are always pivotal moments in a nation healing from the skies of civil war, which Liberia experienced twice, from 1989 to 1987, and from 1999 to 2003. Elections are more than political milestones. They are tests of the nation's enduring commitment to peace. What followed later that year was remarkable. A peaceful democratic vote and a dignified transfer of power from former President George Weah to now President Joseph Numa. In doing so, Liberia reminded the world, and perhaps itself, that it continues to choose peace over conflict and dialogue over division. At the time when democratic setbacks are on the rise globally, Liberia offered something deeply valued: proof that peaceful, people-driven transitions are not only possible, but resilient. She says, from conflict to confidence, a national story of hope gains global recognition. Liberia's stated commitment to peace has not only gone unnoticed. In June 2025, the country was elected to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for 2026-2027 term. A powerful sign that the world sees Liberia not only as a beneficiary of peace, but also a contributor to it. This nation's story is remarkable. It should be told, not in footnotes or in whispers. One of the reasons I'm reading it here, because I'm still watching published, not many will read it. But with pride, Liberia was Africa's first republic, a founding member of the United Nations and the African Union, and a long-standing champion for regional peace. Liberia is not defined by conflict or crisis, but by courage, persistence, and the daily work of building a nation one step at a time. After all, peace is more than the absence of war. At a time when conflicts are resurfacing and peace remains fragile in many parts of the world, Liberia's more than 2 decades of stability offer lessons that deserve to be shared. But as Liberians themselves will say, peace is never guaranteed. It must be nurtured, protected, and strengthened every day. What Liberia has and where it can go next. Too often, Africa's narrative is framed in terms of what is missing. You say, but in Liberia, I see something else. A view shared by many who know this country well. Liberia is a rich land, minerals, forests, coastlines. It is a young nation with more than 70% of its population under the age of 35, and a society beginning with leaders, interpreters, and change makers, where women make up a majority. Above all, it is a country with resilient spirit, forged through survival and sustained by solidarity. Liberians are more than the challenges they can overcome. They are builders, ready to lead the next chapter of their country's transformation. The question is no longer whether Liberia can rise, but how quickly and inclusively it can do so. A human-centered vision for development. Development is not about numbers or jargons. It is about people. The young entrepreneur with a bold idea, the farmer adapting to climate change, the mother and child seeking quality care, the student navigating a digital future. Every policy and financing choice must be measured by how it improves lives and protects dignity. Today, Liberia stands at a turning point, not just to celebrate peace, but to bridge historical divides, deepen reconciliation, and ensure that the dividends of stability reach every community, especially those most vulnerable. Liberia has launched the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, the ARD, the National Plan for 2025 to 2029, anchored on 6 priority areas of agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. The plan 6 pillars: economic transformation, infrastructure, rule of law, governance, anti-corruption, environmental sustainability, and human capital development reflect global and regional priorities, including the Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union's Agenda 2063. To deliver on this ambitious target, Liberia is focused on critical accelerators, investing in education, technology, and skills for the youth, strengthening health care and social protection, empowering women and young people, and building climate resilience across food systems, from farms to feeding villages. Global alignment matters, but development must be owned, financed, and led from within. Progress habits and national priorities drive partnership and not the other way around. Financing the future from aid to self-reliance. At this year's Financing and Development Conference in Sevilla, Spain, world leaders acknowledge a hard truth. Traditional aid is declining. Countries must now take the reins of their own development through stronger domestic resource mobilization and innovative financing. For Liberia, this means expanding and digitizing the tax base, working with the private sector, and formalizing the informal economy. It also means curbing illicit financial flow, both at home and internationally. Innovative tools can help. Liberia plans to explore green bonds, diaspora bonds, and gender-focused finance options that align investor interests with national needs. These efforts are part of a broader shift towards an integrated financial strategy, making every dollar to go forward for people and the planet. This paradigm shift is not just necessary, it is an opportunity. The country has the talent and determination to drive its own transformation. The global system must meet Liberia where it is, not as a charity case, but as a capable partner committed to inclusive, peaceful progress. A renewed UN partnership for results. The UN in Liberia joins the nation in celebrating its election to the UN Security Council. A powerful statement that the peacekeeping chapter is truly behind us. Liberia is now giving back to global peace. Over the years, our role in Liberia has evolved from peacekeeping to peace building, to sustainable development. Today, the United Nations country team, composed of specialized UN agencies, funds, and programs, works hand in hand with the government of Liberia, civil society, and the private sector, and partners to support the national vision. Our next chapter is the new UN cooperation framework, which runs from 2026 to 2030, fully aligned with the AARD and focused on three of the pillars: economic transformation, rule of law, and human capital development. Our approach is rooted in local priorities. It is about turning national goals into results that matter for communities, ensuring that no one is left behind. And she concludes by making a case about believing in Liberia's future. She says, yes, challenges remain. Diversifying the economy, eradicating poverty, strengthening institutions, and closing development gaps. But Liberia is not defined by its obstacles. It is defined by its resilience, progress, and the determination of its people to keep moving forward. Now is the time to turn peace into lasting prosperity, to let democratic values drive inclusive growth, and to show that Liberia can be a beacon of what is possible when the nation invests in its people and believes in its own potential. Together, in genuine partnership, the United Nations in Liberia will continue contributing to the country's story of dignity, resilience, and inclusive development. God bless Liberia and a happy 178th Independence Anniversary. This message was written by the UN Resident Coordinator in Liberia, Christopher Motuli. She wanted us to play a role in elevating it because it's a message she wants to go far. And I thought using our platform, government communication platform, to elevate it with voice, and not just sharing the leaflets with you. It was a critical responsibility on my part as the chief communicator of the government. Thank you for listening. Mr. Samuel, let's go to the other one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pia, for going into the details of the very brilliant and insightful article written by the UN Resident Coordinator, Liberia. We want to add by saying that beyond what Minister Pia said, there are other things that are ongoing. You see on late that major cities in rural Liberia have been electrified by the LEC. Some of you have been wondering. So they sent us details about the project. It is titled the CLSG Rural Electrification Project. It is implemented by the Department of Projects of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Yes, the project is working. The project involved the construction of a 3-kilometer transmission line to connect 3 key stations: Yekepa, Botota, and Bikano. It is funded by the African Development Bank. The project is currently about 60% completed. Once operationalized, the grid will be managed by the Liberia Electricity Corporation, the Rural Renewable Electrification Division under the Department of Operation of the LC. Here are the areas that will benefit. Middlesex County, 20 towns are expected to be connected. An initial 3,000 customers are expected to receive electricity. 848 street lights will be planted. Rembasa County, 31 towns are expected to be connected. An initial estimate of 4,500 customers to gain access to electricity. 836 street lights will be installed. One county, 30 towns are expected to be connected. An initial estimate of 4,000 customers will be connected to the grid. 800 street lights will be installed. The project is not going to stop there, it's going to extend to other parts of rural Liberia because, in keeping with the promise by the President, the goal is to increase access to electricity by 2030. The government of Liberia will host the Diaspora Annual Conference from September 26th to 28th, and it will be held in Washington, D.C., the United States of America. The Liberian Diaspora Annual Conference is a historic gathering of Liberians living across the globe, united in purpose to reimagine and rebuild the motherland. The conference will bring together policymakers, community leaders, investors, scholars, and citizens from every corner of the diaspora to address the most pressing challenges and opportunities facing Liberia today. With a focus on national healing, reconciliation, and sustainable development, the conference serves as a powerful platform for dialogue, collaboration, and action. The Liberia Petroleum Refining Corporation is doing extremely well. The LPRC is doing extremely well, and we've seen of late they're being made use for good reason. Of course, there are others who are interested to always criticizing even good things happen. We all know that the law creating the LPRC provides that it is the only entity plus the authority to import petroleum products in Liberia. Of course, the law also provides that it can give that right to licenses to other people to import petroleum. So for too long, the government has been relying on commercial importers for the availability of products. So as a result of the innovation that the corporate management team takes to the LPRC, we said we want to go a step further to create a buffer, just in case there is an artificial shortage in the market government can end up in, because it is a duty of the FARC to provide the products. So they are taking a historic step, not only providing storage for others, but FARC is now back as an importer. This week, we witnessed the arrival of the first shipment of 3.5 million gallons of products. Oh, this is the first time this has happened in 40 years. An addition of 17,000 metric tons of fuel is also expected. So nothing wrong has happened here. All they have done is to go a step forward, be more innovative, and say, we have to do this. They are not taking the importers out of business. They issued a statement and said that the importers will have the first privilege to be served with the product that have been brought in the country by LPRC. The LPRC as an entity will not be involved in commercial distribution or wholesale or retail sale of petroleum products. No. This is only a step taken by the entity to ensure that government by itself can be ready. Because we're all here, but when this one happened during the last administration, people who want to profiteer can create artificial shortage. They can speculate. The next thing you go look, long lines are formed to various gas stations. They're expanding in the public. It happened not too long ago. It became a problem. And so being far-sighted, they're taking a step to address a long-standing problem. So I want to appreciate and commend the management of LPRC headed by the Managing Director, Amos Twe. Also, the MPA has provided updates on the renovation of the two ports in the southeast, the Greenville Port and the Harbor Port. The renovation is valued at over $300,000 and is intended to enhance efficiency, resilience, and service delivery to support Liberia's expanding maritime trade sector. A team of 5 MPA technocrats conducted a 5-day inspection of the ports to assess the progress being made, focusing on infrastructure development. The progress highlights as follows. 90% of infrastructure renovation at the Greenville Port is completed. The first phase includes renovation of 7 administrative buildings to address years of neglect and improve operational efficiency. About 65% of renovation work at the Harbor Port is completed, including the electrification to support night operations and crucial regional trade. Of course, the impact of this renovation work is intended to upgrade and design, boost operational stimulus, increase capacity, and facilitate more maritime activities, strengthening Liberia's trade infrastructure. Lastly, before I invite the Ombudsman to the podium, the Ministry of Education announces National Call for Qualified Educators. National Call for Qualified Educators and staffs for Liberia's new model schools in Bong and Lima counties. The Ministry of Education is pleased to announce a nationwide recruitment process for qualified, committed, and passionate professionals to serve in the newly conducted model schools in Bong and Lima County. This initiative is part of the Ministry's ongoing commitment to improving educational quality through strong leadership, innovative teaching, and inclusive student-centered practices. Available positions are administrative roles of the principal, vice principal for administration, vice principal for instruction, vice principal for student affairs, registrar, academic position. Subject instructors are needed in the following disciplines: mathematics, English, biology, physics, chemistry, economics, history, geography, civics, agriculture, computer science, religious education, laboratory demonstrators, support staff, and others. The Ministry announced that all applications will undergo a transparent, merit-based process. Final selection will be made by the Department of Instruction and approved by the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Jasu Malik Jala. That being said, we will now pause and invite Councillor Kangar to the podium. Then we will speak. We'll take a few questions from the press. Councillor Kangar.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. The leadership of the ministry, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. To begin, we will invite Madam Grace S. Kabar, Assistant Payroll and Placement Director, to deputize for the Human Resources Manager along with the Office of the Ombudsman. Please join me, Madam. Thank you. So you're being called here, this one goes section 12, subsection A, B, and C of the Code of Conduct to assist me to perform this function. Under the code, you are to assist once the Ombudsman is present. We will now call on the Minister, who is not here. So, along with the Honorable Senator, just join us on the right. Yeah, please. So, Mr. Minister, you're welcome. Please join us up here as we perform this ceremony. Yes, on the right. It is provided under the Code of Conduct that public servant be it officials of government or employees of government, should be awarded appropriately pursuant to Section 18 of the Code of Conduct. I've called on the minister, along with his senior staff and our CSA junior staff representative here, to appreciate this call. The lighting in this facility has improved, so is the seating. The furniture are well selected. We believe that the action of the minister, along with his deputies and employees of the ministry, was a commendation. And we think his action to letting this hall is not limited to the hall, but also the facility. As we drove into the building, we realized the Liberian flag being posted in locations that beautify this place, and that enable us to remember that our flags means a lot to us as a nation state. Hence, I award the minister, along with his deputy and all employees of the ministry, for serving as a reasonable civil servant. A reasonable civil servant, as decided by the Ombudsman in the case Republic of Liberia versus Emma Glasgow and all, provide that a reasonable public servant is that public servant that works for the public interest. What we find here, the unification of this whole is within the public interest. Thank you, Mr. Minister, and thank you for the staff for making this place right. I now order the human resource representative here to accordingly draft for me a certificate of award to your ministry that will be signed by the Office of the Ombudsman and is to be used by this ministry in the interest of the public service. Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you. Let me seated. All those who are listening to the Ombudsman will require of you at all times to be a reasonable public servant. A reasonable public servant working only within the interests of the broader public. And that's what has been done by the minister along with the team here today. And so they are accordingly awarded. Now that being said, we would like to bring the attention of the public to the issue of asset declaration. Asset declaration is a key requirement of our law, and requires that all those within the three branches of government will declare the asset. And the law requires that once you assume office, within 30 days or thereof, you should declare your asset. Despite that law, there are individuals within the three branches of government that are actually non-compliant with the asset declaration regime that is being implemented by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission and being monitored by the Office of the Ombudsman. We find today that there are 29 representatives that are yet to declare the asset. Because of that failure to declare the asset, we are accordingly rating the Speaker of the House of Representatives to have the representative suspended pending the declaration of the asset. And while they are suspended, their salary should be used for the public interest. We are hoping that the legislature will comply with the law because it is required that all public officials are to be in obedience to the law, like section 4.1 of the Code of Conduct means at all times public officials they are to abide by all laws, regulations, and norms of this country. Despite of that law, representatives have failed to declare the asset as required by law. Hence, those representative names were currently submitted to the Speaker. We expect the Speaker to comply by the ruling of the Office of Ombudsman. Aside from members of the House of Representatives, there are senators that are yet to comply with the asset declaration. Like the representative, the Ombudsman, have accordingly written the Senate Pro Tem to ensure that the 12 senators who are yet to declare the asset as at July 4th will be accordingly sanctioned by the college to have been suspended until their asset will be declared. Because it's the purpose of our country, we name senators that are yet to comply as at July 4th of the asset declaration. The Honorable Ellis Tyler of Waming County, the Honorable Simeon Taylor of Cape Mount, 3, the Honorable Boto Kamen of Babolo, 4, the Honorable Zoe Penna of Grand Gilead, 5, the Honorable Thomas Y. Newman of Grand Gilead, the Honorable 6, the Honorable Wellington Smith of Riverside County, 7, the Honorable Quentin Donkey of Samuel County, 8, the Honorable Nomini Mbatikwa of Grand Crew, 9, the Honorable Jean S. Barnett of Maryland, 10, the Honorable Sir Joseph Moserado, 11, the Honorable Samuel Koga, Nima County, 12, the Honorable Bill Trotter, Roses County. These senators are non-compliant with the asset declaration regime, and they have been accordingly recommended for suspension to the Honorable Pro Tem. In conformity with the law, we anticipate that the Pro Tem, along with senators that have been compliant, will comply with the Code of Conduct. Within the executive branch, despite of the moratorium provided by the President, that all those in the executive branch should declare the asset within the time frame, and those who feel some were being sanctioned as at July 4th, there are 150 officials within the executive branch that are yet to comply with the asset declaration regime. The Office of Ombudsman has accordingly communicated with the President to have those who are within the executive branch and are yet to comply with the asset declaration to accordingly comply in conformity with the President's directive and the law. That is, they should accordingly be suspended until the asset should be declared. The judiciary, as at July 4th, the judiciary has complied almost in total. Notwithstanding, there are four public officials within the judiciary that are yet to comply with the asset declaration regime. Those who are yet to comply within the judiciary are as follows. Her Honor Shannon G. Yo, Chief Justice, retired legally. His Honor Yusuf D. Kabad, Associate Justice of the Honorable Supreme Court. 3, Her Honor James Hector H. Wolokoli, Associate Justice of the Honorable Supreme Court, and Her Honor Shannon D. Clinton Johnson, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. These 4 justices that were genuine have failed and have refused to comply with the asset declaration regime. The Office of the Ombudsman has accordingly written the Chief Justice, the Honorable Yami Okwe-Wesit, to comply, to have these justices comply with the Code of Conduct by having these justices recommended for suspension pending the declaration of their asset, and they are accordingly fined for 1 month salary deduction for their willful disregard for the law. We would like to report to you a couple of investigations that have been conducted along with the monitoring report recently. In a matter involving Mr. Yankwet Juma Sanchez at the the Center for Agricultural Research Institute versus the management of CARI in the Code of Conduct violation complaint. The Honorable Yankwet has complained to the Office of the Ombudsman for the failure of the management of CARI to provide him tools as required under the Code of Conduct. CARI management failed to provide him tools to include computer, pen, and other equipment to enable him to perform his work as designed. Because of the failure of CARI management, the office adjudged CARI management in violation of the Code of Conduct for not providing tools to the Honorable Juma, while at the same time providing him monthly salary. CARI have been judged to provide the necessary tools based on his scope of work, as will be done to other scientists within 90 days. We are hoping that CARI will comply in conformity with Section 4.1 Code of Conduct and Section 18 of the Code of Conduct that requires government obligations. That at all time, government should ensure that public servants and employees of government will have the necessary tools in order to carry on their work. Notwithstanding that the Juma, who is a scientist, has worked in CARI for a protracted period of time, and he has yet to perform. The Office of Ombudsman does not take the argument of Juma that he will continuously now produce results because the government did not provide him tools. We are calling it order Juma, that the Juma, to ensure that he provides an integrity report for the work that he has done for the Liberian people, also within 90 days to his supervisor. And that once he has submitted that report to his supervisor, he should accordingly send a copy to the Office of Ombudsman. Failure for Juma to comply with this will leave the Ombudsman with no alternative but to recommend his dismissal from the public service. The Ombudsman advised all other government officials and employees of government that are similarly situated. You have got to be creative and innovative to ensure that once you are employed to a position, you have to be functional. Do not go up with a Juma theory that because I'm not provided computer or other tools, I will be unable to do my work. If you so feel strongly that in the absence of all of that, you cannot work, it's appropriate for you to resign. You cannot be receiving government resources while at the same time you are feeling in order to perform the function of the office that you are actually being assigned to. So government officials, employees of government, you have got to be innovative. Do not follow the ruling of Juma. And the ruling of Juma is going to be limited to only Juma. We are not going to accord that to additional public servants that will fail to work or to provide, produce based on the function they are being appointed to, and then they continue to take government resources. In the future, such person will be adjudged to return the money because of failure to perform the public service for which the taxpayer have paid for. We'll let me report to you a matter of the National Port Authority. in which the Port Authority dismissed 3 of the employees without providing them due process. It is wrong at all times for any government agency to adjudge any employees wrong without providing them due process. That would be in violation of the code and the civil service standing order. We are calling it written management of the National Port Authority to ensure that those 3 employees that were not given due process will be reinstated into their position because of a violation of their constitutional right and the right under the civil service standing order and that of the employee handbook for the Free Port of Liberia. We are currently requested the Honorable Dukley, along with his lawyer, Councillor Wusi, to register at the Liberia Institute for Public Administration to do a course in public administration to enable them to effectively understand that the Free Port of Liberia is a government entity and that it needs to operate within the confines of the law. 3. So over the period, the Ombudsman have been investigating political participation. Political participation is encompassed in the Code of Conduct at Section 5. And over the period of 11 months, there have been intensive investigation ongoing at the Office of Ombudsman. We like to thank the Liberian people that provided support to the Office of Ombudsman. Of course, you know we're not naming because it is prohibited. We'd like to thank you for assisting the Ombudsman in carrying on that investigation. That investigation is concluded today, and these are the findings of that investigation. Before the investigation, Her Excellency, the Honorable Cllr Yanti was invited to answer to the question if she was a member of a political party or not. The Honorable Yanti and Besco Yanti appeared before the Office of Ombudsman and indicated that she has since resigned her position within her political party in order to work within the public interest. That was actually correlated with the party's information, and based on the information to us, we felt that was true. Notwithstanding, the Honorable Besco personalized government service when she asked the Honorable Jenny who is a public servant, a public official, to represent her before the Office of the Ombudsman. Because she personalized government service, meaning Jenny would have been working at the time she actually told him to come and represent her. The Honorable Besco is fined $500 to be paid within a general government revenue account at the central bank or as will be directed by the Liberia Revenue Authority. Documents are being communicated to her, and that she will be requested to pay the fine upon receipt of the document within 72 hours. Unlike Besco and others who resigned as we find in the report that will be shared with you, there were 20 government officials that have been adjudged guilty for violation of Part 5(1)(a) and B of the Code of Conduct, along with Section 5.18 of the same Code of Conduct. Under that section of the Code, those who are in violation of the Code of Conduct, there's one penalty. That is removal from public office as required under Section 5.9 of the Code of Conduct. Thank you very much.
With the announcement from the Office of the Ombudsman, we will now take a couple of questions from the press. Pamela, make sure the questions are taken accordingly, and we'll take a journalist for a question. Thank you. The journalist for a question, please be attentive. If you want to ask questions, please stand in the queue. Please be recognized in the queue. Thank you.
So my name is Joseph Seli, and I report for ABC Radio. I want to say thanks to the Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. You're welcome. I want to say to Councillor Finley Kangar, thank you for the work you're doing. And I think it gives a dawning of a new day to see the office of the Ombudsman being effective like this. But one of the things is the implementation of these reports. Because many times when you come up with these reports, young people think that you are toothless. You don't have that teeth. It's very quiet. But since you listed all of these officials and even our information and the name on that report, you recommend that they should be fired from public office. Is that before the president, and what's the time limit within that space? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Desmond Moyo, and I report for Democracy Watch. To the office of the Ombudsman. My attention is being drawn to the fact that a very recent investigation that have been uncovered by Democracy Watch. The office of the Ombudsman uncovered and buried where the office sits currently. It is proven to believe it is the chairman's relative, one of the family members' property, and it is being used for government's office. Government paid money to that family member of yours, while government at the same time pays you as chairperson for the office you occupy. And the other issue is that office is supposed to have an executive director. And I don't know whether you have an executive director, you just name the human resource manager. If you have an executive director, you want to know the name of the executive director, you is the chairperson of the office. And my last concern is, to what level do you validate some of these public officials when they make these utterances that indeed I'm not a member of any political party, and you just confirm that the case of the foreign minister, she's told you that she has resigned, and that correlated with the party's position. But do you sometimes go beyond to seek for the letter of resignation, or is it just by verbal utterance that they tell you to resign and you hold on to that to run the office of the Ombudsman? Thank you.
Mr. Anis Mukulu, let me say congratulations to Mr. Pia for you being recognized by the Ombudsman. Thank you. And so after listening to the presentation from the Office of the Ombudsman, I want to ask the government question. And taking into consideration that this government, talking about the government of Liberia, has 3 functional branches of government. All of that 3, now it has been reported that members of 2 from these 3 have refused to declare their assets, something that is against the state in general. My question is, for the sake of image, what does it mean to this government? And lastly, if like it has been reported that members of these high places are refusing to live by laws of the country, when the ordinary people begin to do sin, will this government have moral to enforce the law that they themselves cannot live by? Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Onya Phillips. I work for the New Liberia newspaper. Question to Councillor Finley. Councillor Finley, you name people from the judiciary who have not declared their asset, also name senators. Why don't you name the non-representatives from the House of Representatives that you already fought the name? You don't name them. And secondly, on you talk about Dada Joma. As a councillor, you know, president already given the precedent of 90 days to make a report. And he also, he said take the salary, but he said that will not happen again. Are you going to go to court in the next event when it happens so on? Thank you.
So thank you so much. My name is MICAT, and I report for Cllr FM. My first question goes to Mr. Senator MICAT Biden. You did mention the issue of the Ministry of Education putting up vacancy. Are you, the government, I'm taking into consideration those voluntary teachers that are yet to be placed on government payroll? Are you maybe advising the ministry to employ those people rather than opening another vacancy for more problems that are already been created by those voluntary teachers? And my next question goes to the Ombudsman. I want to be specific. Ombudsman. So the Ombudsman, I want to be specific when it comes to the issue of the legislature.
Ombudsman, sorry.
The legislature. If the potent and that of the speaker refuse to adhere to your recommendation, what is your next course of action? Thank you.
My name is James Walker, and I report for Cllr Radio, and I'd like to thank the councillor for his presentation. But listening to him, he said he presented a request to the legal firm Chief Justice, but he has not been commissioned. The President, so I don't know whether it is not against the law that he has not been commissioned to take office, and he will be operating or taking actions against or communication sent by office. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. I'm Marius Debe, and I report for Ghana FM. Mr. Kangar, thank you. I want to know, start from the issue of public officials stay holding party positions, and as a result of that, you are now taking action. I want to know whether you have a monitoring team that monitor public officials or go to entities or whether public officials are on time when it comes to going to work. And if yes, how effective is that team? If no, how do you track public officials who don't go to work in time? Thank you.
So thank you for the questions. I'd like to begin with the question on Councillor Kangar. The building that is being used by the Office of Ombudsman is owned by a family member of yours. And you have the executive director. So Councillor Kangar does not have a family member that has a building that the Office of Ombudsman is in. My name is Finley Kangar. The building that we are in, the owner is not a Kangar, is not a is not a Finley. The full information of it, if you want to get a contract, please come to the office and we'll ask the finance person to print a full copy of the contract for you. What's the firm who wants that? So please come to the office, all right? And once you start coming to the office, the contract is going to be given to you. And you find the names in there, please tell the public that what I said, the question I asked was inappropriate, and the Ombudsman is not going to operate like that. You guys, please do that. So do that today. After here, we'll be expecting to give you the contract. The other issue is, do you have an executive director is provided for in the law? The answer is no. Cllr Lorraine Brown, along with others who will not call their name, they are vetting our executive director position. Why do we intend to source that out? We want to be sure that the individual that will be selected will be based on competence, integrity, and will seek to work for the public interest. So son, please come there. If you want to know about the employment process, you may speak to Cllr Brown. She is the president emerita of the Stella Marie Polytechnic College. You can do that. There was another question that said the Ombudsman office does not have team. I don't know what that is, but there's no strong office of the Ombudsman in the world than the Ombudsman of the Republic of Liberia. And just so you know, Liberia is a member of the International Ombudsman Institute, and as we have a conversation, we're being lobbied by our colleague from Asia to head the office of the Ombudsman International. Do we have the competence? We don't know. And so the office have planned a conversation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs to have a dialogue to see what is the real position in terms of the operation of the International Ombudsman Institute. It has political implication and for the country's foreign relations. So we cannot take a decision until we have a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and then the government will advise how to deal with that. Now, the power that the Ombudsman office has, it has 4 major powers. No institutional government has that. There's an institutional government that cuts across all 3 branches of government. Do you know any such institution in the country? The answer is no. We have the power to investigate, the power to monitor, the power to enforce our judgment, the power to provide oversight of the court. What kind of teeth do you want? You like to see guns in our hands? No, it is not gun. It is about working in conformity with the law. What we are recommended so far, our recommendations have all been accepted and implemented. Not one that I know that hasn't been implemented. I can assure you that those within the judiciary, those within the executive, those within the legislative branch of government will comply with our rule. This is a new day in this country. There was another question to say, how do you validate that some officials have resigned from their offices, and have you received letters from some of those who have actually resigned? The answer is yes. We have received letters from folks who have resigned, who cross-reference that with their party information to ensure that what they have provided to the Ombudsman is true. Now, one more tool that you want to have. If you find in our report individuals have resigned from their political party, and you saw they engaged in active political activities, please report that to us. You have that duty too. Under the Code of Conduct, all citizens, residents have the duty to work alongside the Office of Ombudsman. So report that to us, and we investigate. If that is true, we apply the law. But as at now, our finding, those findings were cross-checked, and they have been validated. They say so, or they are verified before the report. I told you there was at least 11 months of study. There's not a base given. So we think that what we provided is right. But it's important to note that there's a dissent in the opinion of the Ombudsman in the political participation case. The dissent, as was written by the Honorable MICAT, basically seeks to establish that he concurred with all decisions. That is, we should apply Section 5.9 of the Code, or of Section 5 of the Code of Conduct. But he said that we should limit the penalty only on those listings that are provided by NEC. That is a dissent. He said every other information that you got, for example, the one is an eminent member of a political party who sits on the executive committee and make a decision, you should not judge them guilty for political management. All right, so that is dissent. So part of dissent is available. You can read it. The majority is that all those who are in violation, there is only one penalty. Section 5.9 of the code, removal from the public office. And the law is so hard. It says, if the ombudsman has adjudged you guilty, you should not receive any other money from government. That's what the law has. Read it. You cannot receive any other money that's being appropriated by the legislature. Isn't that a teeth to bite? Indeed, it is. So there was another question. They didn't name the member of the House of Representatives that are in the file. Sure, that's what it now means. The names are available in our report, and I'll ask my special assistant to share that as widely as he can. And so it's right there. He's going to share the listing of the 29 people who are in defiance. And so the listing is available, right? It's not actively available with me, but it's available and you're going to share that. So someone said the Daladuma case, you said I should be limited to Daladuma. And so if you have similar situation when you go to court, no, it's not a court thing. This is what the Duma case is. Someone is employed with the government. The person is not giving any tools to work. For example, vehicle to work, whatever it is. But the person is taking pay. And the person is not producing result. That is a violation of the code. But the man being employed is not providing the tools. But notwithstanding, Liberia is a challenged country. And many of those who are in government, they work far above duty. Some of them use their own computer, some use their own vehicle, some use their own phone to work. Even though the Lord said that God provide all those for you, but we should see our resource envelope is small. It's a very poor country. We have 800 million in the budget. That is nothing. We have to find ways in order to create new money, to add that 800 up to probably 2 million up. When we go to $1 billion, then we go. 800 million, we need to work hard to improve that, but that is not the basic of this conversation. Like Joma case, we are saying, all our public servants, don't use that argument that Joma has to say because you are not giving me a computer, or you are not giving me a car, you are not giving me a phone, so I'm not going to do my work. Because the code of conduct says so, right? And so we are saying we don't want public servants to rely on that as a precedent. We want public servants to be creative and innovative and to work within the public interest. So I admonish you, if you have your friends in government, please tell them to be proactive to do the work. I will tell you, when I was appointed to government over 6 months, I didn't have a vehicle and I walked to do my work. I remember I went to the president's office and I was sweating so profoundly that Minister Grisby gave me a handkerchief to wipe my face before I could see the president. When I got in the president's office, I was still sweating because I ran across the road to go up there. Now, is that what a public servant should do? I think my action was limited. You need to do more than that. Working for the country, you are come to serve. You did not come to government to enrich yourself. If you know those who are in government, they are enriching themselves, please report them. If they are ethical violations, to also investigate. They are criminal matters of criminal allegation, please report those to the LCC immediately. Don't wait. Because waiting will delay the progress of the country. We cannot wait. It's time to act. Now there was another question. If the leadership of the two houses fail to comply with the office of ombudsman, what is the next course of action? I can say that here, what is the next course of action? Because there are 3 ombuds present, they have to make a determination. But the code of conduct says the office of ombudsman has the ability to enforce its judgment. Do you have a monitoring team? areas? Are you monitoring those who are attending, going to or coming from work, and vice versa? The answer is no. I'm not going to put monitors in harm's way. So if you saw them in the place, they said, you have come here and you are from the office of the Ombudsman. But all those who are in place of government and those who are interacting with the government are monitors of the office of the Ombudsman. If you find that folks are not coming to work on time, you can report that to the office of the Ombudsman. And we are going to interact with the appropriate agency to ensure that people will be to work on time. On the code of conduct, you cannot have a defense for not going to work on time because you say, my ministry is not providing transportation, or it's raining, or the sun is too hot, or my shoes fall, or my weather was sick. You need to be to work on time, and you know the time for work, depending on the setup you work in. You have to work based on the time frame provided there. I hope I answered those questions. And the young man that is interested in having a contract of the office of the Ombudsman, please join me. I'll drop you right to the office of the Ombudsman myself. And don't waste your time. Collect it and then tell all other people. Now, there's one thing for which I come to public service for. I came here to only work. I didn't come here to get rich. Please know it today. Corruption is not going to be cancelled. Come back in. I've advocated for over 20 years as a human rights defender. I'm not going to come down to actually bend those rules. I didn't come here to do that. I come here in order to say, and my service will be measured later on. And you probably understand where it is. Come and pick that document. If you want a document for the office of the Ombudsman, please come and collect them. You want to get an asset declaration, come and collect them. You need to collect them to actually understand what they are. Your brothers and sisters or friends of yours who have actually failed to declare the asset, tell them to do so. Tell them as a matter for urgency, so that the public will have that. Look, there is an amendment that has been done, and we hope that if the person in the office will send out the legislation, that asset declaration should be public. When you want to declare and then actually approve it, whatever it is, it needs to be public. You can't be keeping it and you expect the public to monitor that. How do you know the asset I have, for example? It has got to be available. I've told people before coming to the government the asset I have. I'm a very poor man. I don't have much. I have a house in Broadville that was privately built by my sister, but it's mine because it's my name. I lived there for some time, and then I had a legal situation. I got a property that was basically secured by my mother, to me once, who talked to the robbers and then they gave me a property in Broadway. That is actually on the G4 community. And you can come there and you see my house. My house is over 120,000. I've been building that house for a very long time. I have another property in Betor that I've actually been building for over a period of time. Please come there and see it before you say that I took your money. Come and see what my property was and where it is those are declared to the LCC. But if you want it, please come and get a copy of my asset declaration. We need to be serious here. All my bank account are here. I got one bank account at Bank of America. At the time I went to school there, I get available. It doesn't have any money in there much. I got $3,011 in that bank account. So these things should be available. Yes. I don't have time. I've actually used some of my time, but just understand where they are. The local bank I deal with RB Bank is there today. I can tell you how much money I get because some money are there. Or whatever the government pays me there is there RB. It's right there. You come, I will give you my bank statement if you want it. This has got to be a new day. Councillor Kangar has not come to the government to steal in a way. The issue of my family member was because it's personal domain. I'm very interested in it. If the whole media will come for it, please come. And the car I have, I can take 200 persons in there and I will give you a copy of the document. Thank you very much.
That's one way in the trouble. See, all the plenty you made, just because, you know, on a serious note, sometimes it's good to reference that it is alleged that you did this. You ask the question in a way that made it look that you have all your facts, that the place being used by the Ombudsman's office is the property of the Council of Spirit. And that's why he has afforded you the opportunity to go and do the verification yourself. If the intent was to get the truth to the public, then I hope you take advantage of the opportunity that he has given so that you find what the facts are. It is easier and it's deeper into our society. We don't know how sometimes these things we do got grave consequences in people's character. You are watchdogs of the society, do your work, apply a little bit of due diligence, and make sure when you do something, you are not just trying to damage somebody's reputation unnecessarily and falsely. So it's good that you raised it. The councillor went deeper. He only talked about the office. He has told you the homes he has, the ones he's getting, the money he got in them. He has told you everything. Let's all about interact in ways that protect us and the people whose reputation we come first. A number of your colleagues have traveled to China. The updates I got from different sectors was that the other persons are going because they send me. So I'm just asking my deputy minister whether they were not contacted. I know somebody from MICAT went, but not necessarily from MICAT or from the press pool. So we talked to our friends at the Chinese embassy to know what happened, and hoping that in subsequent time, some of you will have to benefit. You work hard here. And I think when these opportunities are there, you should also benefit because it's all about creating a capacity. What they run for is training. And we need training for many of you. So we'll follow up to know what happened and how we can correct it moving forward. Thank you for your usual attendance. We'll be pleased as a ministry. We are always informed. We have to work on some of the other small things that the phone will be ringing and will be walking up and down. But generally, I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up. You have an obligation to ensure that the society is informed and the premier platform for government communicating with the public is here. And we are glad that you take your coming here very seriously. We really want to thank LBS. Has doing a wonderful job. LBS is the only means through which you can follow the program direct on radio. We've been working with crime and violence to make sure we add that level for now. It's LBS and the team has been very dedicated. We thank the Director General and his team, Eugene Fagon. I want to thank in particular the crew that is assigned here, Armstrong is here, and the rest of you who come in the social media, madam. What's your name?
Masiame.
Masiame is excessively regular here, committed to our job. The entire team from the LBC. And I'm calling them up because somebody would think, oh, it's a word, a government entity. You are private people, you care, you want to, but not every government institution is committed to what they do this. And I just thought it was important to recognize you and encourage you to keep doing what you do best. We can come here only to talk. For all of you here from the online TV, radio station, TV station, nobody will hear it. If I'm talking and nobody here, we hear it. Your BC that is almost heard all across the country, being here regularly to ensure that we are on radio, in addition to all of the different networks, it's something that I personally appreciate. I want to just thank you sincerely from my heart. Thank you.
So that's it for the Republic of information contributions. So if you MICAT press briefing was interested by Councillor Finley Kangar the Ombudsman. So for those of you who've been following our activities, thanks for following this live broadcast until the intelligent on this Tuesday.